don't buy an iPhone 14 Pro, seriously, until you obviously watch this video, because back in 2022, the iPhone 14 Pro was a game changer, but now we're in 2025, coming close to 2026, and this iPhone could feel outdated in a lot of different situations. And on the other hand, most features have aged extremely well. That's why in this video, I wanted to answer the question that you probably have right now: is the iPhone 14 Pro worth it in 2025? By the way, before we continue, I'll actually link down below some Amazon deals that I found the iPhone 14 Pro to be extremely affordable. So check out the links down below. Depending on your country, it could go up or down in price, but I definitely check out those links if you are interested on an iPhone 14 Pro. Now let's start talking about its gorgeous design. It's got a beautiful stainless steel body. It feels super premium, and aesthetically, it doesn't look that much different than the most modern iPhone 16 Pro. It is way heavier than today's iPhone 16 Pro because it's built out of titanium. I find the edges on the 14 Pro to be extremely sharp, and when the iPhone is so heavy, it could feel uncomfortable to a lot of people. One of the big complaints that I had when I had the iPhone 14 Pro is that it was kind of a fingerprint magnet as well. The stainless steel does get dirty a lot, but either way, you're probably going to put a case on the iPhone 14 Pro either way. So if you do want to put a case on it, it will still feel very comfortable and extremely premium either way. Now, one of the biggest weaknesses of the iPhone 14 Pro is its charging port, because it uses Lightning instead of USB-C. Now, is USB-C a big deal? Well, yes, for a lot of people, but also no to a lot of people. The best thing about USB-C is that today's everything charges via USB-C. Macs, iPads, cameras, fridges, like freaking everything, man. Okay, not fridges, but drones, batteries, USB-C hubs, like SSDs. Like when I say everything, is everything. So the best thing about buying an iPhone with USB-C is that whenever you go on a trip, for example, you only need to bring 1 or 2 USB-C cables. But instead, with an iPhone 14 Pro with Lightning, you always have to bring that extra Lightning cable, which, once again, as I said, if you're someone that doesn't really have a bunch of other devices like a Mac or an iPad or cameras or everything that I just mentioned, you shouldn't really care, and Lightning will still do incredibly well on the iPhone 14 Pro. We also have a mute switch compared to the action button on newer models. The mute switch is simple and reliable. It simply acts like a mute switch. There's a lot of people that find the action button really useful because it's customizable. You can customize the action button to open up the camera, the flashlight, to shortcuts, etc. If you don't find the action button a big deal, you'll probably be okay without it as well. Now, in terms of sizes and display, the iPhone 14 Pro has a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR display. It still looks absolutely stunning. There are no really noticeable differences if we compare both devices. Obviously, the 16 Pro lineup has slimmer bezels, which are really noticeable, but I feel like the 14 Pro still ages extremely well. The blacks will still look very darks and the whites will look extremely bright. It is a very colorful display that you definitely won't be disappointed by. The iPhone 14 Pro brought the dynamic island to the iPhone, which is one of its biggest strengths to this iPhone. Having the dynamic island is incredibly useful. From keeping track of sports games, to playing music, to skipping a couple seconds from a podcast. It's one of my favorite features currently on the iPhone and in the Apple ecosystem, and it's incredible that the 14 Pro has it. You've also got 2000 nits of outdoor peak brightness, so the display gets extremely bright, and you've also got a 120 hertz display, which is an incredibly big deal. Now let's talk about the performance and the chipset of the iPhone 14 Pro without getting into the details and the numbers. All you gotta know is that the 14 Pro has the A16 Bionic chip, which is an extremely capable chipset. Obviously, even in 2025, it's a chipset that will last you a lot of years. The only problem, technically, with this chipset is that even though you can run all the games and run all the apps that you want inside of this iPhone, it will not be compatible with Apple Intelligence. Now, Apple Intelligence might not be a very big deal for you in 2025, but if you buy an iPhone right now, you probably want it to last you a lot of years. And if you buy the 14 Pro now, it won't be compatible with Apple Intelligence now, but most importantly, when Apple Intelligence is a big deal in a couple years from now, now, you won't be able to have Apple Intelligence. Now, you should obviously not buy a product with a brand promise of like Apple Intelligence being a big deal in a couple of years. Apple Intelligence currently does have some really useful features though. Currently in 2025, you've got a smarter Siri, you've got ChatGPT integration, you've got visual intelligence, you've got the ability to create custom emojis with Genmoji, and obviously so much more. So it's something that you should really consider and one of its biggest weaknesses of this iPhone. Now, if you're thinking of buying a new iPhone, you probably just want good battery life and a good camera. That's what usually most people want. And the iPhone 14 Pro is no exception if we're talking about its incredible camera system. You've got a 48 megapixel main sensor, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a 12 megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom, and 4K video at 60 frames per second. Long story short, the images that you're going to be capturing with the 14 Pro are outstanding. The only little downside is the ultra wide at low light compared to the iPhone 16 Pro, which is way much better. The iPhone 16 Pro also zooms at ×5, but honestly, if you're considering on buying an iPhone 14 Pro for its camera, once again, you won't be disappointed at all. As I said before, the battery life is no exception. According to Apple, you're gonna get 23 hours of video playback. You can get a full day of battery life with it. But if you really want the best battery life out there, there are some stronger models out there. For example, the iPhone 16e, which is Apple's new budget iPhone that has just been announced, has some incredible killer battery life. But as I said, you won't be disappointed with the 14 Pro at all. So if you buy an iPhone 14 Pro right now, how long will it last you? So according to what we've seen previously with previous iPhones, well, the 14 Pro could last you till 2028 in terms of software updates with iOS 20, which could be one of its last updates. Obviously, according to what we've seen previously with iOS updates. Instead, with an iPhone 16 Pro, we're probably gonna get around to 2031, which is a crazy year. Time truly flies, man. So the final question, should you buy an iPhone 14 Pro in 2025? Well, it depends on the deals that you can find on it. Depends on the price that you end up paying for it. As I said, I'll link down below some of the best Amazon links that I've found that have the best deals of an iPhone 14 Pro right now. I'd pay for an iPhone 14 Pro around $500 to $600. If you find an iPhone of that price tag, yes, the iPhone 14 Pro is obviously incredibly worth it. The only big pain points on the iPhone 14 Pro are Lightning, the chipset since it doesn't run on Apple Intelligence, and how heavy the phone is for me. The rest is absolutely incredible. Incredible camera system, incredible battery life, stunning design. You still get the dynamic island. So it's really depending on what you want. If you want a better battery life, there might be better options for you. I'm gonna end this video by saying the iPhone 14 Pro will definitely not disappoint you. If you wanna watch my full iPhone 14 Pro review I did back in 2022, you can tap on this video, you can hit subscribe, or you can keep watching more of my content, and I'll catch you in the next one.